Hello everybody, welcome back to the OAGRC. We are finishing up today our TD2 chassis. I've got my low profile servo here. There we go. Just a Carson, reasonably priced low profile servo. We've got electronics to do, get it on the chassis. I think after that we've got a driver figure to paint up and sort out. That'll be fun. We've got some wheels to put on, and then we've got the body to do. I hope the weather improves, ready to do the painting, because at the moment it's still quite cold outside. So this video might actually be over the course of a couple of weeks, but we'll see how we go. Right, let's get started by getting some electronics in here. Right, set the servo up and put the servo saver on the top. And now I'm looking at this and it's telling me that if I want to adjust the height, I've got to use A19. I'm not entirely sure why I would want to adjust the height, so I'm not going to. I'm just going to pop it in as it is and we'll see if it all works out. So I'm going to go ahead and get the servo mounted and show you what that looks like when it's all done. Well, that was a lot harder than it needed to be. We finally got it mounted. It doesn't quite sit right, but it's in and it's all screwed up. And we're now on to step 36, putting in the ESC and the receiver. I jumped ahead a bit, got carried away. I've just popped the driver in. I'm going to paint it eventually, but I just wanted to put it in just to check all the wires fit, really. I might tie those down against that upper frame just to keep it clear. But yeah, that's all gone together quite nicely. I like the guy with the visor, he's cool. Right, I'm going to stick the tyres on next, mount the wheels, and let's take a look at it. Well, I've finally got it together, but I've got a horrible problem. Listen. Something is not right in my gearbox, so I'm going to have to take the whole back end apart and try and work out what it is that's gone wrong, because I put it on the floor and it sounded even worse. I mean, it doesn't seem to be too bad when you turn it, but something's not right back there. Brilliant. So we have spatchcocked the TD2 to find out what is wrong, and it was the ball diff. So I think that when I put this together, I hadn't tightened it up enough and it was slipping. And I can't show you because I haven't got enough hands holding this at the same time, but it's not tight enough. So I'm going to redo it and see. I've got a spare plastic T-nut that came in the kit. I'm going to undo it, see if I've stripped it. If I have, I'll rebuild it with the other one. If I haven't, I'll make an attempt at tightening it up so it doesn't slip. Then if all else fails, I'm sure I've got a little nut somewhere that I can use. Nordic RC used a small nut, just a regular hex nut in his, and was able to tighten it up sufficiently enough so the differential worked properly. So I'm going to give that a go and see if that works nicely. And while I'm here, I'm also going to check that the pinion is meshed nicely to the gears in there at the same time. Right, let's carry on. Right, we're back together. And now it sounds like it's running a lot better. So I've got to be honest, getting to the differential on this was a bit of a pain in the backside. It wasn't too bad. You saw I had it sort of flipped over. There was the rear sort of, what's this, brace bit had to come off. That holds the suspension, or where the sort of arms meet the body. There's two metal rods. It holds those in place. They come off. Then it kind of spatchcocks, as you saw. It's all sort of, all the wheels sort of dangle about all over the place. There's then 8 screws that you take off, and then you've got access to the motor, and also then the differential. So maybe that's a bit easier than some, where you've got, I mean, if I think of the DT03, you have to take the shocks off, the wheels off, disassemble the rear gearbox, take the spoiler off. Once you've got the gearbox off, you've then got to open it all up before you can even get to any of that sort of stuff. So maybe, yeah, maybe it is a bit easier. Right, what's next? Onto the body, I suppose. This is like 3 weeks on from when I started filming this video. So this has been a bit of a job, actually. I was worried I was going to have to get one of those alloy nuts, but I'm going to go without it for now. I'll probably be opening this thing back up again and changing it. The driver is going to come out. We're going to paint him up. And yeah, start working on the body shell next. The weather here in the UK's got to about 18 degrees, something like that during the day. So I reckon it's going to be all right for painting. So the big question I know you're all waiting to know is, what colour am I going to paint this? And the answer is, I don't know yet. I can't quite decide. I'm in two minds whether to go. I've got an orange, I can't remember the name, and I've got a gunmetal, and I can't decide which way to go. So watch this space. You'll see what I've decided once I start painting it up. But probably the first thing I'll do is get that driver painted. Okay, let's go. Right, this evening we are now on to cutting out the body. But this one has got loads of tiny, you probably can't see them, but loads of tiny little holes that need drilling in it before, look at the back here, you get started. So you need to put one in there, you see that one? The little ones that go in there, these are the fenders that go on the back. So there's quite a few holes that need to be pre-drilled. So I'm going to get on and do that, put the holes in first, as per the instructions. And then it recommends that you cut the body out, straight edges with the scissors, and then score and snap with the modelling knife around the other areas. Great instructions, Tamiya. Then we're going to wash it, and then we shall mask it all off before we spray it. And we're going to do it in PS7 orange. Right, let's get going. Right, I have made a style choice, not following the instructions. The wing, the rear wing, I haven't sanded this down yet, so don't judge my edging too much, guys. But the wing's got all these different cutaways where you can change the height of the wing. And I quite like, I've left that on the highest setting, the biggest setting. I quite like the way that looks in the back of the car. Nice big rear wing. It reminds me of those big F1 cars back in the day. And I think I'm going to stick with it. For now, anyway. And we'll see how it goes once I've got the rest of the body cut out. But I quite like it. It looks quite funky. I'm going to leave the rear wing clear, like on the box art. And just put the decals in the back there. Right, next job. Let's cut that out. And just for good measure, I've also increased the height of that rear wing as well. Now I've got a very twisty, windy backyard track. So I'm thinking by raising the wing, I'm going to create more downforce on the car, and therefore it should improve the handling. Now, look, maybe it won't have much of a difference on this when it's on the dirt, but it gives me something else to play around with on the TD2, which I think is pretty cool. I'm going to go with that higher wing as standard because I like the way it looks, and we'll see how we go. But it's all good fun. There's also some tiny little brackets that you can put in under here that alters the angle of the wing as well. So If you have it sloping down, it pulls the rear end of the wing down. And then if you have it facing the other way, it rises it up, and then that's flat. Lots of fun stuff to play around with on this buggy. So we are cutting out the last fender now. I have used the score and snap method around all of the fenders and most of the body, to be fair, as well, and it's come out reasonably well. If anyone hasn't tried to use that, that's where you go round the edge of the Lexan with a scalpel or a model knife. I go over mine twice. So I go over first, very, very close to the line, and the second time you go down, the knife kind of just sits in the groove that you've already made, and it's very easy. So I go through everything twice, and then I will cut sort of strips into the Lexan, and then you just ease off and snap each one off, and it comes off nice and easy. There's plenty of YouTube videos showing you how to do it, and what you then get is you get all these lovely curves already done for you. You sand them all down with a little bit of paper, and then you're good to go. You can wash it all up, ready for painting. I'm going to get back to it, and I will show you the next steps shortly. Back in the hobby room this evening, and I'm getting ready now to cut out all of the window masks for the shell. This bit here has got 4 masks that go on this side, 2 on this side, and then a couple around the cockpit. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these out and get them masked up. And that will prepare the shell for painting. And then I'm in debate whether or not I'm going to paint the fenders or not. I can't decide. So I'm going to put the fenders on and see what it looks like with clear fenders on, and then decide what I want to do after that. I hope this isn't famous last words, but masking tape is done and on. I have checked all of the seals this time around the edges to make sure that I haven't missed anything. It doesn't look too bad, but like I said, famous last words. I'll probably go and get loads of runs now, but the body is now ready for painting. So we've got to wait now for a dry, sunny day. Just while I'm waiting for that sunny day to come so I can paint up the body shell, I've just put the decals on the driver. I think he is the coolest Tamiya driver that I've seen so far. Good work, Tamiya. And there might be a whole bunch of you that disagree with this, but I've decided to leave the mudguards clear. Now there are going to be some decals that are going to go on the edges of these, but I think it looks pretty cool as it is, with a clear wing, and the clear fenders at the side with just decals and that orange body in the centre. I think it's going to look quite unique. Right, on to the painting. Painting is ongoing. I'm a little bit worried how bright this orange is. It comes out in the video, I think, a little bit brighter than in real life, but crikey, I think I might have made a mistake. But we're going to go with it now. Wish me luck, guys. I've let the paint dry overnight, and I backed it with silver last night before I went to bed. It looks not too bad. I've got a bit of a run on the edge there from the silver, but I'm a bit worried that it might have bled through some of the areas I masked off. Well, I suppose we won't find out until I've taken the masking off. Now the question is, I can't decide whether to back the silver with black or leave it silver. I think I'm going to back it in black. Back it in black, not back to back. Because I worry this is going to scratch on the inside and then it will show through to the orange underneath. So coat of black on it now, and then it'll be done. We can take those masks off and see what a mess I've made on this one. So it's worked out a lot better than I thought it was going to. So it's slightly darker in real life, but for the first time I've got a couple of bits of paint that I've got to sort out. But that's nothing, I mean, compared to the Lancia I did, that's absolutely nothing. Those windows have turned out reasonably well. I think this is probably one of the best bodies that I've painted, actually. And I'm quite pleased with myself. See, some of that's just flaking off. Just a bit of excess flake, look. So I'm really pleased with the way that's turned out. So next we're on to decals. Now I'm going to try the water-based decal application where you cut them out, put a bit of water on the back of them and then slide them into position. I've seen a couple of people try it, give it a go, see what happens. But yeah, I think that looks pretty wicked. Right, see you in a bit. I couldn't resist just popping it on top of the chassis. I've got some of the main lines on the decals, and that wetting the body and then sliding the decals on, it's working a lot better than me just trying to stick them on by hand as I did with the Lancia Delta. It's coming together quite nicely. Right, I'm going to crack on. Okay, we have successfully finished the TD2 Astute 2022. When I put the paint on the body, I was panicking and I thought, crikey, that paint is going to be way too bright. It actually isn't this bright in real life, thankfully. It's more it's slightly duller, but not too much. But it was brave. I was wondering whether it would look, I mean, it goes with the blue, clearly. I was a bit worried how it would go with the red, but actually, it doesn't look too bad, does it? And those wheel arches have come out really nice with just the blue stripes, those decals that go on the edge. What a build. I've loved every minute of this. I think it's been a great chassis to put together. I could definitely recommend it to anybody who is on the fence. If you're thinking about getting a TD2, they're good fun. The only downside with the whole thing was that ball diff and that locking nut. Tamiya really should have put the aluminium locking nut in there for the diffs, I think. The fact that that's a hop up, I think, is a bit of a cop out. But that's the only thing that I can complain about. Now, I haven't driven it yet. That's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. I was hoping to do it today, but unfortunately it's raining. Yesterday it was really nice and I got out up on the track with some other things, but I didn't get a chance to get the decals finished on this, so this didn't make it out, which is a shame, but it's all summer for that. But I think this is going to be fantastic. It's only got a silver can in it, so bear that in mind when I run it, guys, that we're only silver can here. I think I will put something a bit meatier in it, but I think I might wait until I've got the slipper clutch, or I've thought about what to do with that diff. If I've got the locking nut, maybe I feel a bit more comfortable with it, but that means it's going to have to be stripped down and put back together again. I'll have to open up the back again like I did before and take that brace off and spatchcock it again. But if I'm going to do that, I won't want to do it and change the motor inside. But look, I think this is great. I've been really pleased with it. I love the way it looks. I love those windows at the side. I love the way that my decals have gone on with that water slide. The paint's come out all right. You know, it's almost, well, it is the best model that I've put together. I almost don't want to take it out and wreck it, but you know, I'll just enjoy looking at it for at least another week. Now the weather's gone bad here on the weekend. As always, everybody, thanks for sticking with me on this one. It's been a long video, but there was a lot to do in the end, and I'm really glad that I took the time over this one. And whatever you do, guys, make sure you're having fun and you enjoy yourself. And if you enjoyed the content, please like, subscribe, and tell me what you think of it. Join me in the comments. Thanks ever so much, everyone. See you soon. Bye.